welcome to our Plugs Community Connection. I am your host, DJ Kitty Cat, with my sister co-host, Miss Morningstar on WKRA 92.7 FM The Change. If you're looking for the best in news, current events, community outreach programs, and shopping connections, you've come to the right place. We've got a great mix of content and community connections lined up for you this evening, along with special guest interviews. So, grab your favorite drink of choice, turn up the volume, and let's get into it.
Good morning, WKRA 92.7 The Change. It's your morning host, DJ Kitty, here with my co-host, Miss Morningstar from Our Plugs, the Community Connection. Happy Wednesday. Happy another day above ground versus below. We are almost to the end of the month. I hope that everyone has had their breakfast, has had something good to eat, something good to drink, maybe sipping on a cup of coffee, some water, some juice, whatever it is that you need in order to make you feel good this morning. We're going to hop right into the show. But before we do, we always start our show with our morning affirmations from our affirmation queen, and that is Miss Morningstar. And she's going to bless us with some affirmations that we can use, some news you can use. Go ahead, sis. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to, what's today? Today is Wednesday, hump day. Yay, we love hump day. So good morning. I hope everyone is having a wonderful Wednesday morning. So let's get to it. Affirmations for self-love. Boost your mood and stay motivated with these 10 powerful affirmations for self-love. Start your day right and find strength during challenging times. These affirmations will uplift you and inspire you. Embrace the power of positivity and embrace yourself with love. So let's go through these 10. We're going to talk about self-love. My self-worth is not determined by my accomplishments. There is no end destination on this self-love journey. I execute beauty and grace. You better say that. I am worthy of love just for being who I am.
Absolutely.
Prioritize myself is productive. It is okay to take things one step at a time. I deserve a fulfilling relationship. You do.
Absolutely.
I will allow myself to rest when my body needs it. My worth doesn't depend on how I look. I view my body without judgment. We struggle with that one.
Well,
we are our hardest critic.
Yes,
and you know it. You know it.
We fight with it on the regular, simply because we know what in our minds we want to look like. So it is a struggle, our bodies. But at the end of the day, you got to love the skin you're in. That's just bottom line. Love the skin you're in, and if you can't love you, you can't expect anybody else to love you. So I love the fact that we highlight that. We understand that it has to be done. It has to be. You have to say
it does. It's
I'm
a
okay
must.
With me.
We got to work on something. And we all are a project. We continue to work to be better us every day. So if we take these little bits of affirmations that I find and give to us every morning, then we're going to definitely be working towards progress, right?
Absolutely. You have to. And that being said, I want everybody to take a moment and look in the mirror and say, I love me. I love myself. Because at the end of the day, you should be happy with who you are, the skin that you're
Mm-hmm.
in, and beauty is at the eye of the beholder, but you need to be beautiful on the inside and the outside. You ever seen a very beautiful ugly person? Yeah, unfortunately, I have. There are some beautiful ugly people out here,
It
which
is.
which makes them unattractive. So work on
Mm-hmm.
yourselves. I know I'm working on me. God knows I'm working on me. He understands, he hears my battles.
Oh yeah, we all are. We
Yep,
all are.
absolutely. So let's get into the weather. It's I love the spring. I love that it's warming up, and flowers are blooming.
Mm-hmm.
You see the kittens and the puppies. The only bad thing is the pollen. I think I'm gonna add pollen count. I'm gonna have to start adding pollen count. I should have been done that.
I don't know if the pollen got me this morning or what it is, but I think you should do that so we can kind of know where that count is. Because if we know what's hiding, and we know, and we wake up feeling a little scratchy in the
We know
throat, because
why.
that's what I did today. It's been slow motion all morning. But you know,
Well,
we'll
maybe
see.
it's time to reintroduce what is it, emergency, and some vitamin C and
Mm-hmm.
vitamin D into
Mm-hmm.
your system, because this pollen
Definitely got
is
to
not.
get the vitamin C. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So in Holly Springs today, you have a high of 78 with a low of 62. You got a 24% chance of rain, some stray showers, and maybe some thunderstorms throughout the morning. Light winds, but nothing detrimental. Memphis, let's see, you got a high of 80, a low of 64 with 44% chance of rain. So your chances of rain is a little bit higher. Partly cloudy in the evenings, in the afternoon and evenings, showers and a threat of showers and thunderstorms, light winds once again. And in Houston, hot Houston, here we go, 80 degrees with the low of 73, about a 34% chance of rain, scattered thunderstorms in the morning, winds out of the southeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Again, I'm going to add pollen count because I think folks need to know, at least if you know the pollen count is up high, to at least put on a mask when you go outside. It's not, if nothing else, when you suffer from allergies and asthma, that mask is crucial.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'll be adding pollen to the forecast in the morning.
Love it.
It's well needed.
Mm-hmm.
So, today's Wednesday. The news just seems to write itself. I will say this, nothing that they do now surprises me. We don't have anything too detrimental outside of the norm of what they normally do, but I do have one story where an Army Colonel, Shayla Baez Ramirez, was suspended because some photos were removed from the command board. Somebody had removed the commander in chief. Some people call him Trump. I call him Fat Nixon.
Oh.
Um,
Him.
him, JD Vance. Some people call him JD Vance, and I call him Eyeliner. And then what is it? Hexeth, the DUI hire.
Yeah,
All
DUI.
of their photos have
Mm-hmm.
vanished off of the command board, and so they suspended her. And this was in an army base in Wisconsin, Fort McCoy. That's y'all so childish. How is this even important? Somebody took my pictures down. Suspend somebody. Heads must roll. Heads must roll because my pictures. Y'all
Such babies.
babies.
Such
When
babies.
when we
In
have
their
people
feelings.
out here who have lost their jobs, can't feed their families, there's so much going on, and they tripping about a picture. Get off the gas.
Go figure.
Yeah.
That sounds just about right for that group
Yeah.
of people.
Just
They
about
complain
right.
about things. If it's like you playing with a toddler. You take their toy or
Children.
yeah.
Just babies. I'm upset because somebody removed my picture. So now,
Yeah.
because somebody removed my picture, I must punish someone. So childish. And how is this even remotely presidential? It's not. It's not. Let's just call a thing a thing. It's not. It's disturbing. It's disturbing at this point because y'all are some crybabies.
Yeah,
Um,
I agree.
I don't even know what else to say about that except cut it out. You know, if that's the best, if that's the most of your worries, you got folks, farmers can't, farm because of the tariffs. You got all kinds of things going on, and you're mad about a picture. Whew.
I mean, it sounds about right, Kitty. I mean, unfortunately,
Yeah,
this is the
I
this
do.
is the things we are up against at this moment in time.
A
You
bunch of
have,
babies.
we have big babies, grown babies in the White House. Decepticons is what I like to call them. And
And
it's all a showsmanship. It's all
yeah,
about being a showman. Look how I look. Look what I can do. You know,
it's
speaking
so
on that. With Pete Hegseth. His Signal Gate Part 2.
part two. And he actually fired 4 people from his staff because he figures somebody leaked the
Yeah,
information.
they
So
snitched or
I'm gonna
whatever.
I'm gonna fire everybody. They're just so unserious in a time where everything should be serious. And they
Yes.
wonder why we got our fans and we doing our own dance.
We line
Because
dancing. Because ain't
yes,
nobody about to be
we're
bothered
not
with this
about to play
childish
with y'all.
stuff. This is childish.
It
A
really and
whole bunch
truly
of
is.
reindeer games.
It's ridiculous, but that this is nothing new. This is something that we've known and we will continue to know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, hopefully, and I can just only say this, everybody gets out and vote because we can change the tides if we flip the House and the Senate, and we can go ahead and impeach and remove all of this and then put our safeguards back in place. Because right now we are riding, it's like a 6-month-old riding on a 10 speed. Okay? It's some children. It's just ridiculous. Anywho.
Mm-hmm.
You go ahead, sis. What do you have? What do you have for us?
So,
Right now?
speaking of the children in the house, so there, I don't know if everybody knows this. So now he's attacking the student loans, which he was going to do anyway. So those who have student loans, go check with your department. That is carrying your student loan, because student loans in default will be referred to debt collection the Department of Education is saying. They'll be referred to debt collections. So the Department of Education will begin collections next month on student loans that are in default, including the garnishing of wages for potential millions of borrowers, officials are saying. Currently, roughly about 5.3 million borrowers are at default on their federal student loans. You know, I find it disgusting that you attacking young people and you want to garnish their wages. What happened to the American people first? You garnish these people wages, you put them into a situation when they may be homeless.
We
We
don't care.
talked earlier, yesterday in Miss Jack's Live, about people being one paycheck away possibly from being homeless. What do you think is going to
Absolutely.
happen when you garnish people? What do you think is going to happen when you put them in collections when they're unable to go rent an apartment because these apartments are looking at their credit worthiness? What do you think you're doing? But you don't care. The objective is cruelty.
Yeah. The objective is cruelty. He ran on America First, and I want everybody to really sit back and think about it. What has he done to help any American outside of the billionaires and the millionaires? since he got in office? Nothing. So all of those, I know MAGA and BLAGA and all those who voted for him, I know they must feel a sense of, if they have any type of common sense, they should feel a sense of betrayal because he lied to you. And if you can't see that he lied to you, then maybe, just maybe, you might need to go get some counseling because you're believing a lie. And
I wonder
I
how far they let it go, though. Like, what are you ready to risk it all? You want to put you and your family out on the street, and you'll still be wearing your Trump hats, saying, Trump 2024, 25. What I mean, what are you willing to do? You're
and
willing to risk it all at this point.
it reminds me of Jim Jones. Remember Jim Jones?
Hmm.
I mean, you were too young to
But I know the story.
you know the story, but
Yeah.
yeah, I was a very young child. I think I was maybe 2 or 3 when the story broke, when all those people unalived themselves because this man told them to. And the saddest part about it is, I would hate to see American US citizens take that same route, you know? But let's be honest, you put your faith in man and you
Amen.
claim to be a Christian, but the Bible clearly tells you that you're only supposed to serve one God. You cannot straddle the fence. The Bible, the same Bible that you gave to our people and had us believing that we're supposed to bow down to our captors. You put it in the Bible that you're only supposed to serve God.
Yeah.
But yet here you are serving a man who is actively and willingly in your face destroying not just this country, but destroying you.
No type of Christian values.
None.
Nothing that your Bible speaks of. Nothing of that nature. And then you're trying to and this is a different topic, but you know, you're sending out notices to federal employees about Christian biases. Yeah. You're sending out messages to federal employees about how you're cracking down on Christian bias. So if anybody is found, yeah, this was today. Anybody is found to
Yesterday.
say negative things about Christianity or insane.
My
Receive that
thing
in an email
is
today. Insane.
yesterday, but my thing
Oh,
is,
yesterday. Yeah, yesterday.
whatever happened to separation of church and state?
And state. Yeah.
I guess with Trump, they can just do anything. You hire a criminal, you'll get crimes. He's just not gonna listen. And so everybody, the best thing that you can do is focus on you, focus on your community, and try and wait it out. I remember back in the days where my aunts, one person would cook, they would have parties where one person would cook the steaks and another.
Yeah, another would cook maybe the spaghetti or something like that. Kitty had a little how sometimes our system will fluctuate. She'll be right back. But yeah, those were the good old days where we actually shared responsibility and we actually shared family values, And now it's so discombobulated and it's so awful. It's just unbelievable. Unbelievable. Kitty, you
Yeah,
back?
I'm back. Yeah, I
Yeah.
got a phone
Just
call.
talking about the family values you was talking about, where everybody took ownership to something and we all
Yeah,
looked out for each other.
we looked out for each other, and that was the best way to do things.
Mm-hmm.
That was the only way to do things back then.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody had said, we didn't have a choice but to make sure we are okay. We've been
Right.
doing this all our lives. So
Mm-hmm.
this is nothing new. So, I mean, we just have to, we're going to have to buckle down. And then please make sure you're registered to vote and get out there and vote because
Sure.
as you can see, until we get them up out of office, they're going to actively destroy this country. So do your best. Let's get on to some good news. I want to talk about a story that I read about a barbershop in Memphis, Tennessee. Memphis, come to the front of the room.
Okay, Memphis,
Okay?
let's hear it.
Come
Let's hear
through,
it.
Memphis. It's a barbershop called Him, Him. The founders are Raymond Henderson and Richard George. It's a country club for Black men. And what they do is they provide a safe space for men to come and talk. And that is amazing. I tip my hat, and I appreciate anybody who takes the initiative to know that the community is suffering right now, and making a way for people to come in and verbalize what they're going through. Because if you don't get it off your chest, it's like a boiling pot. Eventually that pot is going to boil over.
Well,
So this,
out.
yes,
Yeah.
good.
If anybody in Radio Land knows
Yes.
the owners of Him, tell them to come to our plug so we
Please.
can bring them on the show. We would love to hear how they how they put that together and made it so welcoming to their
Yes.
customers and stuff. Yeah, we would love to have them on the show.
I love that. I really do. I respect that,
Mm-hmm.
and especially in a time like now when so much is going on. They're giving, men an opportunity to get some things off their chest.
Right.
So kudos to you guys.
Yeah,
Kudos to
absolutely.
you guys.
1000%.
And a quick, excuse me, sorry, and a quick story for Holly Springs. So hold on to your seats, Holly Springs. Not only are y'all getting a Buc-ee's, y'all are getting an Amazon building. They're building a new facility in Marshall County.
Jobs.
1,000 jobs. 1,000 jobs. Go
Good.
ahead, Holly Springs. Go ahead, Mississippi, Marshall County. I'm so happy for you guys. That is putting jobs back into the community, making a way for people to be able to take care of their families. So congratulations to you guys.
Good
Congratulations.
stuff.
I love to hear it. But we've got to take a quick commercial break.
Okay.
We're going to take this commercial break and we'll be right back. You are listening to Our Plugs, the community connection on WKRA 92.7, The Change. We'll be right back after this quick commercial break.
Let's be real. Being a woman means juggling everything. Careers, families, goals, and somehow our health ends up last on the list. But what if your wellness came first? At Nutrition You Design, we believe healthy living shouldn't be complicated. From custom meal plans to one-on-one coaching and specialized lab testing, we're here to help you fuel your body and feel amazing every day. It's not about dieting, it's about thriving. It's about energy, balance, confidence, you. So if you're ready to feel stronger, healthier, and in control of your nutrition, let's do this together. Contact Nutrition You Design today and design a healthier you.
Welcome to a world that sparkles. Sparkle Kicks LLC is your one-stop shop for a wide variety of customized items. So bling out your Crocs, customize that cutting board, get you custom dominoes. Stop by and we will customize your order today. We can be found on Etsy and Our Plugs LLC. I'll be waiting to customize your order. All you need to do is place it.
And I'd like you to do one more thing for me. Hold up 2 fingers. This is you, and this is me, and the space that exists between us should be filled with value.
Equal, a global human initiative, and its value identity model.
And we are back. You are listening to Our Plugs, the community connection on 92.7 The Change. Today is a great day. And today we will be talking about, I'm sorry, Ms. Morningstar, did you have another story you wanted to bring out?
Just one more.
All
Just
right.
one more. It's a good one.
Get
too.
into it.
It's
Yes.
a good one. So
Well, I love the good news, honey.
Oh yeah, we offer the good news. So in Black news, we have some Black teens that launched a new youth talk show created to inspire and empower the next generation. 14-year-old Nicholas Boma and 13-year-old Janae Madison are now making history as they're the new host of Nick and JJ Show. It's a vibrant new talk show hosted by teen personalities that offer fresh new voices for youth entertainment. It premieres its first episode on Saturday, April the 26th. So write that down, look it up, guys. It's called the Nick and JJ Show. The purpose, again, is to empower the next generation. They're going to have featured youth-led conversation with trailblazing guests across from film and sports and entrepreneurship and more. Let's see. Is it going to get some information on where it's going to show?
Mm-hmm.
It says it's a Black-owned animation studio, Lion Forge Entertainment. So that's who is producing awesome. Them. Yeah, Lion Forge Entertainment. Forge, Forge Entertainment. So it's gonna be cool, and I want to watch it. It's gonna be cute, and they have like a little couch, and they show a picture of them, cute. And they're sitting there and they having their conversation, and I love it. It's a vibe. It is a vibe. So y'all, April the 26th. That is soon. That is in a few days. Look it up. Let's see if we can pull it on. Maybe we can pull it up on maybe internet or something, and see how we could watch it if it's streaming some type of way. And let's support these young people that's doing something. They doing something about it, and I love it.
I do too. I absolutely love it. I love to see our babies taking the initiative, and that's what it's about. That's what it's about.
Yes,
so I know today we are talking about salvaging relationships. And that's important, Sometimes, it's alarming, but let's go ahead and bring Miss Jack on up into the studio and let her go ahead and walk us through this.
Hey, Miss Jack. You on mute,
You're on mute, sis.
Trying not to, Good morning, everybody. How are y'all doing?
Good morning. Good morning.
You can hear me? Okay. I know she put her little church finger up. Okay. How's everybody doing? You good?
I'm doing well. Well. Can't complain for a Wednesday. We halfway there. So, I'm great.
My grandma used to say, why complain? Nobody listening.
That's like, nobody care.
Nobody care if you complain. You still got to do everything throughout the day regardless.
That's right.
So today we are going to talk about how to salvage relationships. And I have 2 disclaimers because I don't want y'all getting mad at me because my tips didn't work. You didn't salvage your relationship. Okay, so I got to give a disclaimer. The first one is these are just tips. They will not guarantee that you fix your relationship. Now, stepped in it too hard, then hey, I can only help you so much. Okay?
Hey, understand. It's just a little bit of help to push you forward. It's not a problem solver.
Exactly. And then the second one is these tips don't really apply to someone that is in an abusive or dangerous relationship because we actively need you to try to get any type of assistance and help from professionals to try to, get yourself in a safer situation, a better situation. So it's not that type of relationship that we are trying to salvage. So get those 2 disclaimers, Kitty.
I did.
Okay, good. I had to put those out there. I got nobody, call up there. Let me talk to that lady.
Because that didn't work for me.
That didn't work for me. I answered, ma'am, did you hear the disclaimer? The tips only, okay?
I can only do so much.
Help is the word, not permanent will. This is possibility. Okay? All right. Now that we got the disclaimer out of the way. All right, so this one I think is kind of important, and I had to fix it myself because it wasn't something I was always used to doing, but I'm used to doing now. So the first way to salvage a relationship is you have to always be willing and able to admit you're wrong and apologize. And when we are so set on being right, the last thing we want to do is apologize or say, yeah, I'm wrong, because you're like fully into it, especially if you're in a argument, a discussion, whatever you guys call it in your relationship. That's just the last thing on your mind is waving the red flag or the white flag or whatever, and just, you got it. I'm sorry, I was wrong. It's so hard to do, but that is all some people need you to do, especially if you are the type that can never be wrong. Sometimes you have to understand you're never going to be right 100%. And it may be one of those moments where that is not your 100%. This is the 10% where you may be wrong, and you just got to admit it. And the good thing about that is once you admit it and can say that you're wrong, it makes the other person feel that you are okay. They are admitting that they're wrong. They're willing to work on it. People see that as a motivation to help fix if you could start by at least admitting. Because what do they say about
half the battle is admitting.
Admitting is half the battle. Yes, that right there. So
I can admit when I'm wrong. I'm rarely wrong though, but I can admit I am.
What's your percentage that you are wrong?
Maybe 10.
10 is it a real 10 or is it your 10?
It's a real 10.
Mr. Kitty can't be wrong 90% of the time. Miss Kitty is right 10% or wrong 10%.
We're not talking about spouses, are we? Because
relationships. Are you in a relationship with your husband? Your spouse?
Absolutely, but I'm not talking about my. I will not talk about my marriage, because I don't want to. I will refer this to friendships.
Okay.
I don't want to talk about my marriage. So, but yes, I am 10% when it comes to my marriage. If we must put it out there.
I like this.
But
I
the
think
thing
that
is, you're willing to work on it. You're willing to say, "I'm sorry."
It can stretch. It can stretch across the board, because relationships aren't just your husband and wife or your boyfriend.
Exactly.
It's everybody.
Of course,
everybody. So
you got to be.
And yes, I'm willing to say that when I'm wrong. I can say I'm willing to say I'm sorry.
It is a battle.
And apologize. I don't have a problem with it.
It can be an internal battle with just admitting it. Like arguing with yourself in your mind and be like, you're wrong. Just say, okay, I'm wrong. And it's a whole fight to just get it out your mouth. Because some people are stubborn, it's not even so much as they hate to be wrong. They just...
I love our audience. T Wiz says she only wrong 3%.
I'm feeling T Wiz.
She said quit playing with her 3%. Now you slice that up.
I mean, because typically if I'm gonna say something, I've already researched it, and I'm not gonna just blatantly lie to people. You know what I'm saying? So typically I try and research it, but
we got 10%, we got 3%.
I don't have
Miss Morningstar, what's your percentage?
I don't have no percentage. I just be right.
No, you cannot do that. You're not Jesus, so you are not, perfect.
That sounds like 100% to me.
Yes, you are not 100% right all the time. So, I think that we are all mature enough, ladies and gentlemen, that we can admit when we're wrong.
We mess up sometimes, but I don't really counted the percentage because usually,
How's a black woman?
But I mean, when I'm wrong about something, I do it. I do say, I was wrong. Sorry.
Yeah, I do apologize if I'm wrong. If I'm, those rare
my fault
found to be wrong, I do apologize. Okay, so we probably need to go to the next one.
Okay, we had a chat. It said, what if you're right about something and your partner thinks he's right? What do? Y'all just go continue to have that conversation until you can come to like a midpoint somewhere. Because if nobody's going to drop it, you're going to be stuck.
Can
So
I
you
say
have
this?
to continue to talk.
Can I say something?
Or
I
agree
think
to be-
it depends
agree to
on what it
disagree.
is.
Yeah.
I think sometimes you gotta agree to disagree.
Yeah.
Pick your battles.
Yeah,
Pick your
that
battles.
battle. If it's not important and you can just leave it alone, just agree to disagree.
Yeah.
All right. Number 2 is communicate your feelings and don't get defensive or argumentative when you are addressing difficult issues. You may need to try therapy. I think some people get set off when you say, we may need therapy. And because they think therapy is one of those, you go sit on the couch and you let somebody else tell me how wrong I am, and you sit there and act like you're so right. That's not what therapy is. Sometimes you just need a moderator. You need somebody with a neutral voice to hear both sides for you guys to, take each time to get your issues handled and talked about. It's not about, blame here, blame here. So that's how you're supposed to communicate. Tell your feelings, how it makes you feel, letting that person know that, hey, what you said, what you did, it hurt my feelings because XYZ, and don't get argumentative. The worst thing you can tell a woman is to calm down when she's already mad. Telling people, hey, and get loud, raising your voice. We are not going to have a productive conversation if one of those things happens. You're already on the defensive. So if you want to keep this a calm conversation,
yes,
defensive, it's hard for people to take constructive criticism and not get defensive when that is their automatic defensive mechanism. It's like, I have to defend myself. You're telling me something I don't think is right, so now I got to defend myself. And part of that is me getting bucked up and louder and aggressive. It's like, I don't even want to talk to you anymore. How are we going to fix anything? So.
Well, I agree with that, but I'm also going to say, I agree with that, but I'm also going to say, try to keep it level, but I'm going to give a hint to everybody. Please don't ever tell a woman that she has an attitude. Now you got attitude. That's just escalating and exacerbating the situation.
I think it's a little form of gaslighting.
It is. So
because we do take that differently.
Yeah, we do. So if you want to truly resolve your situation with your loved one or whomever you're talking with, don't be aggressive. What is it?
Aggressive.
Aggressive, argumentative.
What is it?
Did I say it right?
Defensive.
Passive aggressive.
That's
passive aggressive behavior. When you're saying, oh, well, you guys are discussing something. And a woman, we as women, especially Black women, we tend to raise that's just the norm. We may talk low, and it's a struggle. And after you've lived and been with somebody for 30 some odd years, you have to try and talk calm and stay so that the situation doesn't get out of hand. But there may be situations where we may raise our voice because that's just who we are. But just let it say that, tone. Let's bring it down. Let's
tone.
Even if you have to have a safe word, pineapple.
Right.
Safe word.
That's what my husband tells me, tone and delivery. It's not about what you say, it's how you say it. And if you are, let's take a break, pause for a second. Because if you've been married for so long, you know what works. You know when you're upset, how you're going to react. Your husband knows how you're going to react. So they know that you're not being aggressive. That's just how you are in that type of situation.
I think in cooler heads, yes, we could say all these things, we could talk it, but in the heat of a dispute, in the realness of, because I'm going to keep it 100% real, okay? It can sometimes get a little escalated because at that point, you're not thinking rationally. But you might want to go back and revisit it after it cools down and say, okay, what I could have done differently was I could have probably felt my blood boiling and I could have took a walk outside or to the mailbox, or just went in my car and had me a couple, listen to the radio.
Calm yourself down.
Because to be honest with the listening audience, which I know we have a lot of people out here listening, we know when you're in the heat of it, ain't no, because that's the worst thing a person can say, calm down. Then you really gonna,
now you got an attitude.
You got a bad attitude.
Exactly. And you're right. Some people need.
It's just fueling the flame. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So.
Right. Some people do need that cooling off period, just to
accept that.
You can run it right through your head. You go walk, take a step back, go walk off. Like you said, sit in your car. Now I can replay and be like, that didn't come out right. I can go back and say, hey, yeah, that might have been wrong. And it gives you an opportunity to separate, which lets both of y'all calm down. Go ahead, Kitty.
Yes. And so when you do that, when you're sitting there, please don't think about what your next line is, because
don't be plotting.
When I do go back out, you want to actually, especially if you care about that person, you actually want to resolve the issue instead of continuing to bump heads. So instead of talking so you can prove your point and I was right and you was wrong, maybe, okay, let me think about where she or he is coming from, and let me go back and regroup and take it from their standpoint. I don't want my spouse or my person or the person that I'm talking with to feel like I'm, over talking or mad aggressive with them. You do want to get your point across, but to what extent? To the point where, I know me. I don't want to come home every day and have to argue with anybody. I'm not going to do it. I'm not arguing with anybody. I'm too old. I'm tired. But again, I've been married for I've been with my husband for over 30 years. I just can't, we've been together for too long. And even if we were only together for a year, I'm not about to argue with you every day.
I think everybody knows, once you're with somebody, you kind of know the levels. Like some people, I see powerful Black women say, I'm just loud. But her husband knows that about her. He knows that she talks louder. So, and she's passionate about getting her point. So he might insist okay, I done got it riled up, so this is gonna get a little louder. Right. But it's all about, knowing each other kind of, and knowing and finding that balance. Because you're right, Kitty. The older you get, you're like, I ain't got time.
I
don't want to argue.
You want to
argue?
I can't argue with you.
Argue with you.
Mad.
Exactly.
Don't say that, y'all. Don't say that.
Don't say it.
That's called passive aggressive.
Don't do that.
Somebody else.
That'll make some people madder. Okay. Don't do that. Okay. All right.
That's called
tip number 3.
Don't do that.
Okay. Number 3 is make time for each other. Schedule date nights or activities you can enjoy together to rebuild the closeness and the affection. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
There's a saying that women check out of a relationship way before they actually leave the relationship. And usually that's mentally. So when you are stepping away and I'm not feeling affection, we don't go anywhere anymore, we don't do anything, that may lead to your relationship having trouble. You got to keep the affection. You got to keep that connection. You have to go outside the kids and other places and have alone time. That helps you, give you time to have conversations that you can't have with other people. It gives you time to listen to the other person and enjoy being in each other's presence, because that may be something you need to do to reconnect. Right. Just that closeness.
Just to be close. There's nothing wrong with that. I love a good date night. And even if that's for spouses, but if you don't have a spouse and you're thinking about your friendships, brunch with the girls.
Go get your nails and toes.
Yes.
Shopping.
That's a necessity,
Shopping. Yeah.
Yeah. It's all stressful. It's a detox,
I don't know about shopping. When you have a really good girlfriend who's your sister and she has her own boutique, shopping is dangerous.
Oh, yeah, I couldn't.
Shopping is therapeutic.
Girl, I have one friend. Her name is Nay. Me and Nay have no time limit on shopping. My husband go in the mall, get what he want, he ready to go. Me and Nay gonna make a whole day of it.
Well, that's I know most men are like that.
Most men are like that.
They be like,
what
we going in here to get?
No, it's not just your husband.
No. What we going in here to get? You gotta have a plan. In and out.
In and out. We're going to 2 stores. I have to say the name of the stores. Me and my daughter go to the
mall together because
no. And then he wants to park by the stores. There's no stopping. No, we're not doing none of that. No. Now I love to shop. But too. I know somebody that's on this panel that I don't want to ever go shopping with.
I know it ain't me. So
because I shop in your store.
Like
who? You know who? But yeah, shopping is therapeutic, and you need that time with your girlfriends. It is.
Shopping is so therapeutic.
It really is not even about shopping. Like you said, it's therapeutic. Like when I spend time with my friend, it's away from my family. It's away from, and it's somebody that I know I ain't finna have to hear. Are you ready to go? Why are we taking so long? I'm ready to leave.
I'm gonna go sit in the car.
Here 3 hours.
It's literally somebody who shot me under the table, and that's my mother. So when my mother will be 70 this year, baby, but that don't stop her. You better put on your walking shoes.
My mother-in-law is the
same. Does your daddy go with her?
He don't play that. He gone, just gone. And they've been here 50 years, and he because he is in the store now. He don't play those games. So
that's all men.
She goes, and she ain't even gotta buy a lot of stuff. She just like to buy stuff for the house. She like to buy, she like to get an idea of what she gonna get.
That's where you got it from.
Window shop.
We have 1 more minute for this. Let's get this last one.
Okay, we're gonna get, and the last one is a quick one because it's if your relationship was salvaged by some miracle, it got fixed. Do not go back and repeat the same mistake. Okay?
Real.
I can't help you if you did all these tips, you worked it out, you done been on dates, you done talked, you done figured out some communication issues, you was apologizing, you said you was wrong, you made it to a good place. Now, if you go back,
Miss Jack, it didn't work. It didn't work, Miss Jack.
What did
now
you do?
What? I already tried that. Now what? What we doing?
You be like, start back over at the beginning. Let me go back to the disclaimers.
No, I don't want to hear a disclaimer, Miss Jack. I asked you.
No, ma'am. You said this was going to be.
Find you somebody new. Find you somebody new because you hard of learning.
Not find somebody new.
You hard of learning.
She said throw the whole relationship away. It ain't gonna
Not
work.
You hard of learning.
You hard of learning.
Guys. Don't listen to her. Don't listen to Miss Jack. Don't find somebody new. Y'all just keep trying. You are listening to Our Plugs, the Community Connection on WKRA 92.7 The Church. We'll be right back after these quick commercial breaks. Opal May Simplistic Beauty is hair care and skincare in a bottle. Take a quick survey and let us design your own formula. Go to ourplugs.com, look for Opal May Simplistic Beauty, and we can get your formula out to you as soon as possible. We hope to hear from you soon. Have a great day.
Hey guys, highly appreciate it. God bless.
Timeless elegance. Redefine class. Welcome to Morningstar Boutique by Tam, where fashion at its finest, fashion that brings out your inner cuteness, and styles that make you go, oh girl, where you get that from? Check me out at www.morningstarboutique.com or at ourplugs.com. Can't wait to see you.
And we are back. You are listening to Our Plugs, the Community Connection on WKRA 92.7 The Change. We're here with our sister, Mrs. Jack. We just wrapped up speaking on salvaging relationships. They were very informative. I hope that everyone could took something from that and runs with it. At least try it, you know, because you do want to salvage your relationship, especially if it's someone you care about. Now, if you don't care about them, then, you know, cut the cord, you know, don't save yourself the heartache and the headache. And that's friend or foe, you know, friend or whatever. Foe. But try and figure it out. But if it's not working, and I'm going to say this I would never tell anybody to leave their spouse. But when it's a bad relationship, as far as a friendship, when it's one-sided, when someone is a thief or a liar, or they do things that hurt you, cut the cord. We don't have time for that. Yes, that's not a friend. But our next guest speaker is our brother Reggie. Hey, Reggie.
Hey,
What's
Reggie.
going on,
everybody.
Hey, how are you? Are you laughing at us?
Laughing at us.
You guys need, when Miss Jack comes on, you guys need to have a flashing trigger warning. She comes in like Navy Team SEAL, Navy Team SEAL 6, you know, when they have the night vision goggles and the flashbang.
I give them what they need to hear.
He's gonna tell you the truth.
Very fun topic though. I really enjoyed it, and I really love the way you presented it, Miss Jack. You are always coming with, you know, a surprise. We never know how you're gonna come, but it's always fun.
Absolutely.
I love the tips. She always break them in
I do
four.
too. No, it's always very informative. It's funny. It's, you know, she mixes it up so it's unexpected. I like it.
Yeah, me too. And it's needed and very appreciated. So
absolutely.
And needed, sure.
Yes, because got a lot going on.
I try to put humor in it just to laugh at this world right now. So
yeah, I mean, you know, especially with all that's going on, we have to have a moment to kind of laugh at ourselves, you know. I think it's important just not to take, you know, everything so seriously. It's just, you know, because we got to survive this, right? And if we can't laugh at ourselves, if we can't, you know, just take it down a notch and just kind of, you know, look at it in a way that it's not that serious. We'll as long as we can get through today and wake up tomorrow, it's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know a lot of people need to hear that, because I know people are waking up saying, you know, I don't want people to be like this, but I've heard and I've talked to several people that I know personally who are, you know, leaning towards, oh my God, it's complete devastation. I have to remind them what my mother's words always, they will stick with me until I leave this earth, and I pass it down to my kids and their kids. This too shall pass. You know,
absolutely.
We are fighters. We were born to fight. So that's what we do. So, Reggie, what do you have to bring to the table today? I'm always interested. I'm listening.
Me too.
Well, it's always interesting because these conversations that we have, you know, today is every Wednesday morning with Miss Jack. It always literally is a pivot from something that I've been, you know, discussing with either a family member or friends. So it's just very interesting just how everything aligns. I was actually at my granddaughter's birthday party this Saturday, and I was talking to my grandson about the art of switching. And this is very kind of pointed to what we're discussing. He was frustrated because it was his time was up to play a video game. And, you know, my son was like, okay, it's your turn is up. You got it. And he was, you know, just kind of battling with the fact that he didn't want to let go of his time playing the video game. And I was like, his name is Hendrix. And I was like, Hendrix, I said, I want to share something with you that only special people know. I said, no one has control over you. Only you do. And he just kind of looked at me, and I was like, you gotta start applying the art of switching, because he's in sports. And I said, what do you do when you're playing flag football and someone is trying to block you? Do you just argue with the person and say, stop trying to block me? Or do you pivot and move to something else? Do you find another way? Do you look for another opening? And he's like, I look for another opening. I said, that is the art of switching. I said, when you encounter something that that you don't particularly like, look for another option. Don't just, and that's what happens a lot. When we are in discussions, it's kind of like, to admit that I'm wrong is essentially to invalidate me, right? It becomes personal, and it takes nothing from you. It's really about your perspective. It takes absolutely nothing from you to admit, that maybe you didn't assess the situation correctly, or maybe you didn't, have all the info. It takes nothing from you, because we're all navigating this imperfect world, our imperfect selves. We're all literally experiencing the same journey, from a different, you might be on the corner and I might be on the next corner, but we're navigating the same streets. Yes, we're just navigating the same streets. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's important also, when we're engaging with one another. Yeah, I'm very aware especially when I engage with our sisters, and the female dynamic or demographic. I just kind of always use this as a rule. The way you start a situation is usually the way that it ends. Right?
Yeah.
So I wholeheartedly agree. You start peacefully, end it peacefully.
Yes, I lead in with praise every single time.
Yeah.
I lead in with something positive about the person, or with something positive about how I would like to, what I would like to achieve. It's listen, I just, before we have this conversation, just want you to know that, I care about you, right? You're valuable to me, right? You mean everything to me, right? So whatever it is that we're discussing is not more important to me than you are. And that's what I lead with.
Reggie's putting folks up on game. I hope, brothers, y'all out there listening, please listen.
And that is so disarming.
Let me send this to my husband right quick.
Oh, let me tell you,
whatever
that can change the
entire dynamic.
Because
whatever you start with is how it will end.
Now, back in the day,
right now,
that's true.
Back in the day, before we got a spanking, we used to get told, I love you, right?
I love you, right?
This ain't love.
This ain't love, but that is really
play for love is just whooping up.
Okay. I don't want this guy.
I'm about to punish you, but I need you to know I love you, and I'm only doing this because I love you. That's
and you know what? But it takes the animosity out of it. It takes it's like when you lead with that, that those hand grenades that Miss Jack was holding in her hand. She's like, okay, I'm gonna put the pin back in. I'm like,
yes,
that's the way to do it, right? You kind of remove a little bit of the aggression.
You remove, yes,
I love you.
Yes.
At the beginning of what I'm about to say, you'd be like, I love you too, and it kind of softens
it softens everything, because at the end of the day, are you arguing to be right, or are you arguing to DJ Kitty's point, to find a solution?
Right.
Are you arguing to hurt this other person and to push them away, or are you trying to navigate whatever set of circumstances there are so that you can salvage your closeness and your connection?
Absolutely.
So if, put your pride aside, man. It's like you're not winning nothing with that. Don't, please. Don't blow yourself up.
That's a big one. When you're trying to salvage a relationship, you got to put your
Gotta
pride.
lead with humility. You gotta lead with humility.
You
And
love this person, that's what needs to be forefront.
There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people who have a lot of pride and they're lonely.
Absolutely.
You don't want to be that lonely person. I was right, but I'm lonely.
You're right, and you are
and
right
they will
by
tell
yourself.
you, and they will swear to you that I'm okay with being this way. I'm okay with being by myself. I don't want nobody. I don't want this.
Everybody wants somebody.
Because admitting that you're wrong is a type of invalidating of yourself. And so when you can put that aside and look, let's just start out like this. We're all wrong. Okay. We all, you know what I mean? It's like, let's just start there. And then it's like, there's not that pressure to be right all the time. It's okay. It's okay. You're still beautiful. You're still valuable. You're still talented. You're still intelligent. We all, and in the process of getting it wrong, you're going to learn something. And then you're going to be even that much better. So everything is an opportunity for growth.
It really and truly is. You have to take that opportunity, though.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to fight. I don't want to just fight to be right. I want to fight so that we can move forward.
I'm not fighting you. I'm fighting for you. How about that?
Yeah.
Fighting the issue.
I'm fighting for us. Yes. It's me and you against the problem. It's not the problem.
Against the world.
We tag team the problem. Go.
Me and you against the world. We said me and my husband, we say that. It's me and you against the world. I mean, and not literally, but it's just at the end of the day.
No, but it is literally.
It is literally. It's you and him.
It is.
It is nowadays. We out here uppercutting everything.
But the minute you walk outside the door from your house, you never know what you're going to encounter.
Right.
But I know that at the drop of a dime, I can pick up this phone and call my husband. It's me and him against the world,
Yeah.
Right.
I don't want to have to take it there. But at the end of the day, that's my person.
Yeah.
I'm
right.
his person. So it's us against the world, and then when you have your kids, you instill it in them. But Reggie,
us against the kids, us against them children.
No, I love how you Ms. Jack. No, it's not us against the kids. We're showing the kids how to stand up for themselves. Girl.
We gotta be a combined front though, ain't you?
We're a united front, but we don't have to be us against the kids. The kids are just going to come up under our umbrella. I don't want to have to fight with my kids. I
don't mean fighting with the kids. I mean the authority. The authority figures is us against the kids. We are the authority figures.
No, I'm never going to
right from wrong and tell them it's hot, stuff like that.
I'm never against my kids.
There's
more. Yes, you did. Let me explain it because I know we're talking over each other. So what you're saying is you and your husband as the authority figure. When you have your children and you raise your children, they understand that because they've been raised since birth, seeing you as the authority figure. But as they grow and they develop, you're showing them how to they're sponges.
Exactly.
And right now, I showed my daughters how to be a wife.
Right. You teach them without teaching them.
Exactly.
They watch.
Yes.
Right. They learn by watching you.
And even when they were rebellious, it's never me and my husband against the kids. It was me and my husband developing their minds to understand where we were coming from versus, because that's when you have that conflict. When the kids feel like it's me and my siblings against the parents, y'all are gonna butt heads because they've got that. They've got it in their minds that we're at battle.
Exactly.
But instead, it's me and my husband showing the kids that I know that you want to do this, but here's the reason why you shouldn't, and this is your alternative. My dad. I'm gonna let you come in. My dad taught me a valuable lesson when I was growing up. he said, I wanted to go. I want to go on the weekends. I don't been at school. Friday, I want to go. Saturday, I want to go. My daddy taught me, you got one, no exceptions, ever. You had one day out the weekend where you could go do what you want to do. If you went somewhere on Friday, you stayed at home on Saturday and Sunday. If you went somewhere Saturday, you did not. You came home after you got out of school. After you got out of school on Friday. My dad did not make any exceptions to that. Now, I don't know what he did with my other siblings, but for me, that was his rule. And it worked. You know, I was okay with it. There was a couple times that yeah, but you know, I felt like, you know, I want to do this, and I got smart, and my daddy didn't check me, but my mama checked me. She checked me because I felt like I'm, you know, 16 years old, and my mother was 4'11". I'm 5'7".
She's shorter than you.
Bam. Don't play with Open May.
Them little ladies is strong.
Yes, the little lady was strong, but I actually was running off at the lip, you know, because I was 16 and thought I was grown, and I grabbed my car keys, and she grabbed my car keys, and I snatched back, and I don't know what I was thinking.
You wasn't thinking at all.
Obviously. Go ahead, Miss Morningstar. Obviously, Shanika.
I think what it is, what you might be thinking, Miss Jack, is that like how kids, you can be being a united front, because what kids will do is they'll try to manipulate one against each other, because they may find it easier to go to dad maybe and say, hey, you know, let me get away with this, you know, mom's stripping, and you know how she be sometimes, you know, and dad
trying to play one against the other one.
Exactly. And it's better for, as a couple, for you to be united in that aspect. That way you don't cause any confusion or division. Because kids will do that. They just naturally do that. It don't even matter whether y'all separated or together. They will do that. I always found it, and my dad was not mom was always the go-to person. Not because dad wasn't easy. He just was dad. He paid the bills. He did this. He, you know, and if he say, if someone right, he say no.
Period.
No, man.
There was no smooth talk. No, you know, let me
go right. Where mom, you may be able to be like, nah, and she be like, okay, let me talk to your dad, and you. But he said no. Well, let me, and then it might change the narrative, but it might not, because they did have that relationship where they can talk and come on a common ground and make a decision together. So
I love that.
That's probably what you was. I'm just assuming that's what you might have been thinking, like united.
Yeah, along those lines. Yeah,
was not against the kids, because you know,
not against them like y'all got aggression against.
Like we about to get into the boxing ring.
No, absolutely not.
Put the gloves on. Sometimes you got to put the gloves on, though. You do.
Sometimes you do. My mom
said that go to bed.
Trigger warning.
Yes. Put the pause.
I mean, look, Opal May did not play sometimes, but you know, I earned that one. I earned it. I really did.
Lost your mind for a split second.
I didn't know where I was at and who I was playing with.
Oh, some stars. You saw a few stars.
I did. I saw some stars.
Okay.
And you know what, my dad, y'all seen that video where it comes back like somebody's waking up and they say, "You all right? Go and get up." That was my dad.
Now, go get up. Get in that room.
Go put your pajamas on, because your mama said.
Let him up.
Let him. Yeah.
One other. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Miss Kitty.
I just said I learned. Go ahead, Reggie.
So one other thing that I'd like to interject in the conversation, out of this conversation that I had with my grandson Hendrix, is another thing that I did with him, is that I extended my wallet to him, and I said, "Take this," and he took it. And then I asked him, I said, "Why did you take it?" He said, "Because you gave it to me." I said, "You didn't have to." I said, "There is something in business that's called offer and acceptance." I said, just because someone is doing something, always remember that you have a choice as to whether you will accept it as to whether you will embrace it, as to whether you will welcome that into your experience and into your life, or whether you will not. You don't have to accept what is being offered. So sometimes people are offering you their attitude and in an effort to make you have a bad day, but you don't have to choose to have a bad day.
Oh, that's the miserable people that I choose not to have conversations.
Exactly.
Complain
But
all
understand, but understand, just because someone is trying to deliver an Amazon package, Jeff Bezos, doesn't mean that you have to sign for it.
Exactly.
It's your choice every single time. He was like, well, what if someone it's forcing you? I said, it's still a choice. It's still your choice. To understand that the power rests with you as to what your experience will be. No matter what they do, it's always up to you as to how you're going to experience that, because you choose how you respond. So the power is always yours, not someone else's. So don't give them your power.
Absolutely. And I know right now, speaking of Jeff Bezos, I bet you Gail wish she hadn't. Let me stop. Let me stop. But I mean, honestly, she gave him the power, and it just changed her. I mean, she should have said no, but she accepted it. And then have you been? Have any of y'all been? We've been paying bills, but I digress. I'm sorry.
No,
I
don't want to go.
We don't want to go. Have you been? Because you didn't actually go.
She said it kind of snarky, didn't she?
Yeah, you didn't actually go into space. You just went up.
You been drinking some wine?
Yeah, you didn't actually go into space, Gail. You actually just
they are astronauts now.
No, they are not. They are and you know what? Okay, I got a pen. I'm a writer. Okay, I got a blood pressure. I got a blood pressure cup. I am now a doctor. Okay?
I wrote a paragraph, put it in Chat GPT, baby. I could write a novel.
Okay, I can write a novel.
You are now a published author.
Published
on Instagram.
Can't tell me no different.
Gail just really, but we digress, Reggie. You are absolutely correct. You do not have to accept what people give you.
Close on you, right?
And a lot of that, to me, guys, ties into what we are going through in this country. A lot of those people who are causing this type of harm, they are the ones that have never accepted fault. They have never been able to. They have never been able to just say, "I messed up."
Right.
Signal gate too. I mean, just say you messed up.
Right.
Instead, firing everybody.
Yeah, you're right, because saying you're wrong invalidates you in their perception, when it really doesn't take anything away from you. But again, that's a whole other kind of conversation, because that's how we've been kind of socialized and taught, is that to be wrong means that there's something wrong with you, and that's not true.
And you're dealing with a narcissistic personality as well, so they're never gonna be wrong.
And they still
president be wrong. So
yeah, they still can't admit that that, to your point, Ms. Sorry, that
to me that is true mental illness. I'm not a doctor, but to me, when you cannot, and no matter how detrimental it is to a ton of people, millions and millions of people, no matter how detrimental it is, you cannot say, "I'm sorry, I made a bad decision." Then I think that is mental illness. I think this is what exactly we are faced with at this point in time.
It is. And think about the depravity in your own self-view. If admitting that you're wrong is so detrimental to you, because that's why they won't do it.
Yeah.
So detrimental to you. It's like, oh my God, if I say that I'm wrong, then that means that I'm just I'm nothing. I'm completely void and invalid. If that is your relationship with yourself, that's a real that is, talk about toxic.
Yeah.
And should that person be the president?
Well, we're clearly.
Absolutely not.
That's a yeah.
But
no morally distinguishing characteristic.
Do you guys think that being evil is a mental illness?
No. I think being evil is a choice because some people just, you don't have to be. You don't have to be.
I think it's a feel good. I think it's mental
illness.
I think it validates those kind of people.
Yeah.
It's also a cover because evil is this way. It's outward. It's going towards someone else, right? So it's a cover so that you don't have to look this way.
Mm-hmm.
It's a way to distract yourself. It's a way to make yourself feel good, if only for 3 to 5 minutes, and you got to find it, another fix to make you feel good for the next 3 to 5 minutes, and you got to hurt somebody else to feel good for the next 3 to 5 minutes, to keep you from looking at your own self and your own, what it is that you need to fix about you. But because you're in pain, that's the only thing that you can offer me is what you have. And so, it is a choice. It is absolutely a choice, DJ Kitty.
I do believe that.
Go ahead.
I just said I do believe that. Go ahead, Shanika.
I was just saying it's a deflection. And that's what bullies do.
I just sit back and I think to myself, how do you wake up in the morning and you are set on intentionally hurting people? And I know, Reggie, hurt people. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
But when is enough?
Well, it's never enough because it becomes your program. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like, there's a scripture that says that once you engage in a behavior that is against your true nature for so long, then you just you adapt to that adverse nature. And so in the Bible, it's called a reprobate mind. So you literally begin to embrace the lie as if it were the truth. It even becomes your identity. So, you've got people that have been operating this way for so long that they don't, this is their norm now. This is their program. This is, you know what I'm saying? This is what's downloaded. Yeah, this is what's downloaded and updated. And there was a choice made somewhere back years ago where, this is what I'm going to be about.
Yeah. 79 years old, I believe that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sad. It's sad that that's where he's at. But Reggie and Mrs. Jack, once again, thank you guys. I love Wednesdays because I get to spend time with my girl, my sisters, and my brother. And you guys always bring the thunder. You always bring it. I mean, I absolutely love it.
Thank you.
Myself and Miss Morningstar, we are very thankful that you guys bless us with your knowledge. Any last words? We got about 30 seconds. Any last words?
Again, everybody, just the art of switching. Remember, just because there's a traffic jam, you have an option. You can get off the freeway and take the service streets. You don't have to embrace and accept and, settle for what someone else is trying to place on you. You always have a choice. Your choice is your power. Use it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Mrs. Jack, last word, sis.
My last words are just simply never be too big to apologize and never lose that love and feeling. Go on some dates.
Absolutely. And Mrs. Morningstar, your last words.
You guys have a wonderful Wednesday. Touch some grass, but it might be a little wet, so maybe not. But y'all be careful and enjoy it. Thank you, everybody, for coming through.
And my last words to our listening audience and our YouTube audience. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for being a part of our show. Thank you for allowing us the time to enter in your atmosphere and share some of our love and our knowledge. You guys have a wonderful Wednesday. Enjoy. We will see you guys tomorrow.
Have a wonderful Wednesday. Bye.
Hey y'all, it's DJ Kitty
and Miss Morningstar.
We are here from Our Plugs, the Community Connection, and we will be your new morning host on WKRA 92.7 The Change.
Yes, we will be broadcasting Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time.
We'll also be streaming on YouTube at Our Plugs LLC.
Be sure to tune in.